Today we're going to practice the decimal chant. Now the decimal chant is a tool to help you remember what to do when you encounter the various operations with decimals. For example, a problem may ask you to multiply decimals, and then immediately within that problem afterwards you might have to add decimals or subtract. So it can be confusing between all the different techniques that we use to solve the various operations in decimals. So we're going to practice using the decimal chant to help us remember those steps. Keep in mind, even if you know the decimal chant, doesn't mean you understand decimals, because there are important concepts to understand behind why these things work. Okay, let's get started. Line them up, those decimals, when adding and subtracting. Okay, so we're adding here. I could subtract, but I'm ending up adding here. That's what it's asking me to do. So I'm going to line them up, the decimals, when adding and subtracting. One way to avoid confusion is to make sure you're lining up your numbers as well. And you know, if nothing is there, I put a 0, because a zero signifies nothing, right? So that avoids confusion. Bring that decimal down. Line them up, those decimals, when adding and subtracting. Now for multiplying. Count digits behind decimals when you're multiplying. Okay, I'm going to multiply here. Okay, now count digits behind decimals. There are the decimals. We're going to count the digits behind them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 digits are behind decimals. So we're going to put in the answer 3 digits behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3. Line them up, those decimals, when adding and subtracting. Count digits behind decimals when you're multiplying. Dividing, sweep the decimal to the front door. Move the inside one, same number across the floor. Now that part doesn't make any sense unless we go over this. This is the division house here. So these numbers are in the house, the 3 is outside of the house. Okay, so dividing, sweep the decimal to the front door. Okay, we're going to sweep it. Now if you had two numbers, let's say you had two numbers, then, and it was out here, when you sweep it, you only do one stroke to sweep, and then you stroke again. So if there were 2 digits out here, you would swipe it twice. But you only have 1 digit, so we'll just deal with that. Sweep the decimal to the front door. Oops, I was supposed to put this here. Move the inside one, same number across the floor. So here's the decimal. Move the inside one, same number across the floor. Same number of times that you sweep is the same number of times you sweep here inside the house. So then you bring up the decimal and divide. Of course, 4 times 3 is 12. Now, sometimes there isn't a decimal inside the house. So dividing, sweep the decimal to the front door, move the inside one, same number across the floor. Well, how can I move it when I don't know where it's at? Well, if you don't see it, that means it's hidden. And when it's hidden, it's always behind there. And there's a concept behind why it's there and not here. And we're going to go over that in class. Or maybe we have already gone over that in class. Okay, so dividing, sweep the decimal to the front door, move the inside one, same number across the floor. So I have to move it once, so therefore there has to be a digit here. What's the digit for nothing? 0. Okay, so then of course go ahead and finish dividing, and finish dividing out, because you still have to put this number above here. Okay, we're simply talking algorithms here. No concepts behind the work right now. I'm going to get into that more in class. Okay, so here we are. One last time. Line them up, those decimals, when adding and subtracting. Count digits behind decimals when you're multiplying. Dividing, sweep the decimal to the front door. Move the inside one, same number across the floor.